Alright guys, so I kind of felt like doing a video on the transient nature of life. And I'm sort of just going to riff on this topic, but lately I've been getting back into meditation. I never really did it consistently. I've been doing it for 5 years, but on and off. So it wasn't really until the last 2 weeks that I've done it more consistently than I've ever done in my life. In the last 2 weeks, I probably meditated maybe 8 out of 14 days, which is a record for me. You know, the sun is setting behind me, and the sun is sort of transient. It sort of comes and it goes. And that's sort of how life is. Life comes and goes. And I feel like a lot of times, a lot of us, we're chasing transient, fleeting experiences, which amount to nothing more than petty fucking distractions. What I mean is that it's almost like nothing ever really gives us permanent happiness. And you know, the stuff that I'm saying isn't new, but I'm giving it to you through my perspective of life. It seems like nothing or most of what we seek in life does not ever really bring us true happiness. We have all the cliches like go make a lot of money, get a great career, get married, finally get that girlfriend, finally date that hot guy, that hot girl, get in shape, buy a nice house, get that car you've been working for. It's like we're never ending chasing the next little thing it's almost like we never live, as cliched as it sounds, we never live and find happiness in the true immersion into the present moment. Now, what the fuck does that mean? The present moment. I mean, you want to talk about cliched ass terms. The present moment might be the most cliched one. Everybody says it now. You gotta be present, man. Here's a question for you. Do you think you could be happy if you didn't get joy from looking forward to the next thing? You know, whether it's, next week my favorite movie's coming out, and one of my favorite movie franchises is releasing a new installment of the film. It's coming out next week. I can't wait. And it's almost like the entire week building up to the release of that movie, we fill ourselves with happiness, but it's like a vicarious happiness. It's like a postponed or an indirect happiness, where we're getting happiness in the week, in the days leading up to the movie's release, not in the appreciation of life as it's happening now, but we get happiness and a sense of excitement from anticipating the release of the movie and how great that day is going to be. I'll give you an example. You know, I've discarded a lot of the silly nonsense that I look forward to. I used to be a very consumeristic type person. I used to think that, you know, trips to Disney were going to make me happy, or, you know, vacations were going to make me happy. But then I learned that no matter where you go, there you are. That when you go on vacation, it's all built up in your mind. It's like this great big ass cruise. Just making sure the cat's still there. This great big ass cruise, or this trip to Disney, and it's all going to be great, and the hotel is going to be wonderful. Have you ever gone on vacation and halfway while you're there, you suddenly think to yourself, this is not as good as I thought it was going to be? Because wherever you go, there you are. The same person who was seeking distractions from the present moment is the same person who went on vacation. And this same person who went on vacation is the same person who continuously gets happiness and satisfaction and gratification in life, not by appreciation of the mere fact that here they are alive. Now, this might sound stupid to you, and I'll get back to that in a moment, but they get happiness by constantly looking to the next thing. So the question is, do you think you could be happy on a day-to-day, present-by-present moment without chasing every new silly distraction. So lately, I've gotten back into meditation, as I just told you. And meditation is a very interesting thing. You know, sometimes I think the only purpose of meditating, like the real benefit of meditating, is just realizing how pathetically weak you are in terms of your capacity to control your own focus and your own attention. I mean, if we are subjective beings, which arguably is the thing that differentiates us from everyday matter like the street or trees, you know, things that don't have any consciousness, presumably, then it's interesting that the subjectivity, the consciousness in us, which is the differentiating factor that separates us from matter, this anomaly of consciousness, this thing that is, it's fundamental to our experience of reality. This attentiveness, this focus, we can't even control the thing that makes us unique as biological beings, our consciousness. We can't even control that. In fact, it's one of the most overlooked things in most people's lives. So I think that's one of the major benefits of meditation, is that while you're meditating and you realize you have no fucking control over your own thoughts, that one of the most powerful benefits you get out of meditation, here's the thing, I found meditating to be extremely frustrating. Like, I feel like I want to throw a temper tantrum like a fucking 4-year-old. And I'm somebody who kind of prides myself in not letting hardships get to him. Like, I try my best to not be a slave to frustration. But in the seemingly simple process of just controlling my thoughts, relaxing, and gaining control over where I place my fucking attention, I can't even do that. I mean, I spent this whole year working out, getting fit, working on my health. I spent this last year doing grueling pull-ups, push-ups, all types of exercise, overcoming my addiction to shitty food, eating healthy. I've conquered so much. But when you start meditating, you realize how pathetic and weak you are. You can't even control your attention. And that's the average person. And now some people might say, well, what's the benefit in being able to control your attention? What does that matter? Well, number one, I think it's interesting that something so simple we have so little control over. You think just being able to control your subjectivity, the thing that differentiates us as biological beings in a world of matter, as mainstream science will tell us, we can't even control our subjectivity, our attention. Excuse the moment of silence. If ever there was a lesson for meditating, it's learning to appreciate moments of silence. Some people can't stand silence. They'll freak out in a quiet room. They'll go crazy. They have to pull out their cell phone and start going through Twitter and checking YouTube. And we are very much addicted to stimulation. What I've found while meditating is that I can't control my thoughts. What I've found while meditating is that I can't help but want to start thinking of shit. I have to start thinking, and I can't stop. And going back to this whole, where I started this video about fleeting moments and the way we chase the next thing, maybe our inability to control our thoughts when we meditate is just another form of seeking the next thing. You know, maybe it's almost like we can't sit still in the present moment and appreciate life for what it is. We have to constantly go to the next thing. It's almost like the meditation version of going on the next vacation or going on the next cruise or looking forward to the next movie you want to see. It's almost like the meditation version of those types of escapist things you look forward to. The meditation version of that is thinking. When you go on vacation, a lot of times, it's because you're not content with the way your life is now. So you want to go on vacation. You want to escape onto the vacation. You know, it's funny, all the ads, all the ads for, vacationing, a lot of them, they say escape to the Bahamas. That's like a common phrase. Escape to the Bahamas is the phrase that they use. The marketers use this. Why would they promote a vacation using the word escape? When the word escape implies escaping from something that you're being held into. Is your everyday life really something that you want to escape from? So maybe the meditation version of escapism from the present moment is thinking. Because that's all you're doing when you're meditating. You're sitting in basically a dark room and you're just not doing anything, right? You're not doing shit. So you have to learn to be content with doing nothing. And so what's the next best thing when you're sitting in a room doing nothing? If you don't have a cell phone, if you don't have TV, if you don't have all the usual distractions, how do we keep ourselves occupied? We think. Thinking is it's the psychological form of escapism. Thought is psychological escapism. A vacation is a physical escape. Thinking, a lot of times, now of course, for all those who lack nuance, I'm not saying that all thought is useless. Conceptualization is certainly important and useful, and it has its place. But there's a difference between thinking for a good, functional purpose that actually improves your life, and just thinking because you have an inability to sit still and just be, because you have some kind of neurotic addiction to Twitter, or checking your Twitter every 5 seconds. So I guess the point of this video is to sort of tie in how we constantly seek fleeting distractions and then tie that into some of my recent experiences with meditation, how I think they're correlated. In meditation, I can't stop thinking. And I wonder sometimes if it's because, it's not because, you just lack control over your thoughts. Maybe it's because I lack an ability to accept and appreciate the moment as it is. Quiet and just there. All these things are supposed to bring us happiness. The next thing that you escape. And of course, I'm not suggesting that I'm perfect in this area. For example, next week, Ronda Rousey fights Amanda Nunes. I look forward to it. And it fills me with joy in the week leading up to the fight. But I guess the point of my video is, I think sometimes we get a little too addicted to the next thing, and we completely lack appreciation for the present moment. And, sometimes I think that an appreciation for the present moment is tied to self-development. Because I just thought to myself, well, Chris, what do you look forward to? What do you look forward to, Chris? Exercising, working out, isn't that a form of escapism? But I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's really a form of escapism, because when you exercise, look at this little kitty. Look at this motherfucker, bro. This cat is like, I'm going to sit here. You want to talk about appreciating the present moment. This motherfucker is rolling around. He's enjoying his little back rub. Talk about, and you might want to make a quick point. Sometimes I wonder if cats meditate. Sometimes, man, you look at a cat, an indoor cat, even an outdoor cat, and they'll just sit there and they'll squint their eyes for an hour. Oh, little buddy, come here. Come here, silly. Stop being afraid of me. Oh my goodness. Let me pet you. Come here. Let me pet you. Look at this son of a bitch. It's incredible. Anyways. Oh, you're adorable. Okay. And you'll see cats, they'll just sit there in silence, squinting for like an hour or two. I swear to God, they're meditating. They're just like, and they're just like totally zenned out, I swear to God. I think I've ranted long enough. The sun, another fleeting moment, is going down. Should we chase the next distraction? Should happiness come from filling ourselves up with anticipation for the next thing, next week, next month, the vacation at the end of the year? Or is there a way to return our consciousness to an appreciation of what is happening right now? And, you know, I should finish my point about exercising. I think when you're exercising, it's not escapism because it's so demanding in the present moment. When you're exercising, you're disciplining yourself and your mind, really, because it requires willpower to get up and go exercise. When you're exercising, it's almost like the ultimate tribute to the present moment, because you're putting yourself through grueling agony in the moment that requires your own willpower and focus in order to accomplish the exercise. And sometimes I think that escapism and consumerism go hand in hand. I think when you go to watch a movie, it's the definition of escapism. It's the exact opposite of being in the present moment, because you're living vicariously in a fictional world that doesn't exist, that isn't your real world around you. Whereas, what could be more real than a grueling workout that makes your muscles tingle with fire, your lungs fucking, burning, and your heartbeat pounding? I mean, you are immersed in the presence of this present moment in this physical world, just totally submerged. One is escapism that requires unplugging yourself from reality. The other is willpower that requires plugging yourself into reality. I think the difference is really significant there. Those are my rambling thoughts. Let me know what you motherfuckers think in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Any of you guys meditators? Let me know below. I like to hear your thoughts on this shit.
We've been friends for a long time.
Hi, no comment about your meeting with the president-elect. Nothing to say?
I just wanted to take a picture right now.
You take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. All right?
So we just interrupted it.
Fight back against YouTube censorship by supporting me on Patreon. You'll also get access to exclusive, never-before-seen videos and other perks like monthly Google Hangouts with me, free books and t-shirts, and more.